The good, the bad, and the ugly of the internet. I think you know exactly what I mean. Sometimes it creates its own truth. Have you ever seen that? Well, yeah, Nutton. I actually have. On every comments page ever, I've seen that phenomena. Yeah, you and me both. For instance, there are some, shall we say, less enlightened people out there on the interweb who think I am a total Glock fanboy. Maybe they hooked into one of my early reviews, circa 2008, 2009 here in TMP, on some of, yes, they are, favorite go-to-war pistols, but I have many. And they just take that little video, don't watch the others, and they say, oh yeah, that's all he likes, Glocks. To them I say the following. This is your intro, by the way. If I'm such a Glock fanboy, why am I so late in posting my tabletop review on this gun? Glock 43. I bet you I am the last of the large gun channels here on YouTube to post my review on this gun. Here's why. Here's your answer. Because I wasn't even planning on reviewing it. How's that for being a fanboy? Not at all. The only reason I'm doing it is because I ran into Mike at Gun Vault and he's like, hey dude, you want to review my Glock 43? I'm like, yeah, I think I will. Yeah, I think my viewers would be interested in, you know, a tabletop on that gun. I'll shoot it and review it. That's why. But it wasn't like the Glock 43 came out and I was like, oh, I've got to get this gun and review it. Finally, a single stack 9mm from Glock. Can we just get this out of the way? And I think everyone's been saying this. This is a gun they should have made 15 years ago. Now, on the periphery here, you see a stack of other pistols. We're going to talk about those. They are competitive options. I don't have all of them with me tonight, just a smattering. And they are excellent. All the guns here are excellent. This one's kind of an anomaly. This is not a pocket pistol. It's still here for some reason. I don't know why. The XDM from Springfield. Just eye candy. But this is jumping into a sea of sharks for competition. Granted, they finally came out with a single stack 9. Great. I think a lot of us are feeling the same way. We're not super enthusiastic about it because why? Timing. The same thing I said in the Beretta ARX 100 review. It's often about timing. Why did Glock wait so long? Why did they only come out with a 6+1? Lots of questions. I don't have the answers. The fact is, it's here. We're going to look at the current product and I will give you my lowdown on it and my enthusiasm level. I'll say right now, if you're in a hurry, I would buy this gun. There is an asterisk attached to that, and as the video progresses, I'm going to answer why I would be hesitant, and you're just going to have to watch the whole video for that. And you should anyhow, especially if you're a sub. Boom! And I wonder if they're actually going to come out with future generations of this gun, improving some of the things that stand to be improved, like the trigger, maybe. Or if they're just going to let it float. I think the gun will be successful, commercially successful, even though it's jumping into a sea of sharks or a sea of piranhas. In other words, many outstanding subcompact single stack 9mm pistols in the market already. I think it will push its way in because it wears the name Glock, and honestly, it shoots really good. Another spoiler alert. And I think it'll be great. I would really love to see it, you guessed it, in OD or FDE version. Why? I don't know, it'd just be cool. I was going to bring my Glock 19, it's in that coloration. You've seen it lots before though. Let's just jump into this. The Glock 42 came out, speaking of not being a Glock fanboy. I don't know if I'll ever review that. Watch my philosophy video. I'm not going to annotate at the top because you guys never look at that when I do. The 380 still sucks. I think it does as a primary caliber for defensive carry. Yes, there's certain niches it can fill nicely. I understand that. For me, 9 mils like the minimum I carry for a defensive pistol because of these guns. They are so slim, so lightweight, so easy to carry. Why go down to a 380? You know, back in 1995, I think you can make a real good case. Maybe early 2000s, hey, 380 is a really smart carry choice. I'm not going to get into that. If you want to debate that subject, go to that video. There's a lot of guys in that video that feel strongly both ways. But my opinion's there. I don't apologize for it at all. I still believe everything I said in that video. Philosophy of use, you get it. It is a concealed carry weapon. And I'm just going to bring it in now because it's such a great and valid comparison for your gun dollars. When we look at the Glock 43, the question we have to ask ourselves, if we're going to be honest, if we're going to give an honest review, is why would I choose it over a Glock 26? Why would I choose it? Spoiler alert, I have no intentions of getting rid of my Glock 26 to carry a Glock 43. No. Granted, there are some significant size differences. Well, heck, let's just look at it now. Thickness. This one's hot. I'm going to make it cold. It's coming right out of the carry system. I carry a 26 frequently, most days in fact, in this shoulder holster. Galco Classic Light. I already made this cold when the video began. Here we go again. I'm not going to put the mag back in because I'm carrying 115 Blazers. Let's look at the width. And this is a very important component of a comfortable carry gun. I read the numbers myself and I was kind of surprised how much slimmer, this is just me, I'm not following anybody else, how much slimmer the Glock 43 is in carry and actual use. On paper, it's minimal. 1.18 inches, 1.02 inches. It doesn't sound like anything, right? And yet the Glock 26 and 27 for that matter, and the 19, they have the same thickness of slide as do their full-size counterparts. We know that. When I carry it in a shoulder holster, though, not an issue for me. For the firepower, you'll see that theme resurface again as we progress. But for some people and how they carry inside the waistband, maybe the Glock 43, if you can take the diminished rounds, there's that theme already resurfacing, might be a better choice for you. That being said, it's not such a big difference where I'm like, oh, I'm totally getting rid of my Glock 26. I'll tell you right now, I'm totally not getting rid of my Glock 26, and I will continue to carry it. The thing I hate, speaking of internet truth, in quotation marks, and I've said this in other videos, it's irritating when a new gun comes out, all this hoopla ensues, everyone's rushing to get the reviews done on it, and then it dies a quick death, and then people forget about it. You could say that about pretty much all the guns on the periphery, which we'll see as we go along. When they first came out, a lot of excitement, and then years go by, people complain like, well, actually I'm going to sell this gun. You know, now Glock 43 came out. I'm like, dude, research well and stick with your choices. Unless there's a severe problem with the gun, you know, that's what I would do. And that's what I am doing. I mean, I put a lot of thought into my systems and I just bring it to camera. So the real competition in a lot of people's minds are between these two guns. Not just Glock guys. Granted, a lot of Glock guys and gals will be that way. But a lot of people go, I got a 26. Do I sell it and get a 43? I'm not. And I don't recommend you do as well. And we might as well just go to firepower here. Even though it's a little bit out of order, because this drives to the heart of why I'm willing to take on a wider gun, a chunkier platform. That's one of the reasons. Firepower. So with this magazine base plate on it, 12+1. This one is rocking 6+1. Question: is the width difference with my particular carry method, which is shoulder holster, significant enough to lose that firepower advantage? That's just one of the advantages, by the way I see it. No, it's not. If we jump into philosophy of use, defensive gun, concealed carry gun, you get it. Ankle carry gun, which I generally don't like carrying, and I've done it years past. I've said that on camera. If I were going to do it, this would win hands down. So this is a great ankle gun carry choice if you want a 9mm platform. There are better ones, much more compact and not as deadly. They don't hit as hard. Some of them might be 380s. Some might be 25 autos, like the 950 Jetfire, discontinued by Beretta. Love that gun. That to me is the best ankle carry gun ever. But if you're going to ankle carry, rock it. But I don't do it. You know, I rock my system pack here, so I don't carry inside the waistband. Watch my EDC update videos. This still wins. Firepower. Hey, but it's a concealed carry gun. How many rounds do you need? I honestly, when I hear that argument, here's my answer. I go, I can't believe a guy that is choosing to carry a gun has that argument. At all. Right? Because you can make the argument, you know, what are your chances of running into a problem as a law-abiding citizen day in, day out? They're minuscule, and yet you're choosing to carry a firearm. If you're on board with that train, you should never criticize someone who chooses to carry more rounds, because it's basically the same wagon train, and it's just a lot of wasted energy on nothing. Me, I like 12+1. If I have an active shooter situation I have to deal with, which of these guns would I want to fight with? That one. You're going to see this gun is plenty accurate, but I'll tell you what, dudes, there's something almost magical about a Glock 26, Glock 27. I've shown it for years here in TMP on camera. I will stick with that. This gun hits like a full-size gun. I'm talking at 25 yards and beyond. And I have lots of video footage. It's been out for years proving that. Sunflower Shoot would be one of them. Pocket Pistol Shootout is another video series that's been out there. The Glock 26 pretty much reigned supreme. Granted, I didn't have a 43 at the time, and it shoots very accurately. It's a great gun, but I'm just kind of attached to how I can hit with that gun. Okay. Yes, it's a chunky gun. Other philosophies of use, maybe, and you guys might dig this, Mrs. Nutnfancy helped me shoot this gun. If you haven't seen the footage already, she did. Maybe it's a better choice for the female in your life. She, by the way, loved it. Maybe she's a Glock fangirl and I didn't even know it. She liked it better than the 26. She didn't like the fat grip of the 26. She's never carried one. This is her sometimes carry piece. The still excellent Kahr PM9. CM9's just as good. She loves this one too. We'll compare some dimensions here a little bit. She loved this gun. And she shot it pretty good. First time ever. You're looking at the video. I mean, she was popping with it. Dug it. So maybe, just maybe, great women's gun. Can that be said about all these guns on the periphery? By the way, this is a Walther PPS, introducing the players. The Shield is out of state, serving very valuable duty. So is, not out of state, but it's just getting a trigger put on by PFI dude. The XDS is what I'm trying to say. There's a PF9. Then we got the war pistol on there. I don't know why. The question I was asking though, are these just as awesome options for the female in your life? Really hard to tell if she can't shoot it. By the way, if you go to Gun Vault, tell them you're a TMPer, ask for Mike, say, dude, I want to shoot your Glock 43. He has an open invitation to you guys. He's like, I don't care. And any other guns he has, he'll let you shoot for free. Tell him Nutnfancy sent you. It's kind of a cool deal. I don't know how long he'll be there. If you find this video years from now, he's probably gone. Pays to keep up with the content. Back to the question, I don't know. What is the most awesome lady pistol with just these on the table? I really like that one as a women's gun. This one might be a bit chunky, the PPS. A lot of people complain about the snappiness of the PF9. Glock might be the best choice. I don't have a Shield, I don't have an XDS. A Shield too as well. Really great gun. I posted that video recently of that super nice lady I ran into the range. She was shooting her SIG 938. Dang, I forgot to put that one on the table. I have it. That's a little bit different. It's a 1911 battery of arms. You saw her in that video. Forget to sweep the safety off. That can be a big deal. These guns are just simple. You pull them out, pull the trigger, they go boom. So, ladies gun, I think the Glock 43 actually is an excellent choice. Go shoot one, have her shoot one, you'll see what we're talking about. The Glock 43, as we go into SAWC design and ergos, is all Glock, just shrunk. First up, let's cover some weights, because this is critical to me as a concealed carry permit holder. If you are an officer, you know, for Constitution law enforcement officer, you're looking for a backup piece, this should be very important to you as well. With the magazine, I'm talking the flat base magazine, it comes with an extended finger rest magazine as well, Glock 43 does, 18.2 ounces on my scale. PM9, this one right here, 16.6 ounces. It's also a 6+1. The Walther PPS, which I still love, it is a little bit broader as you can see, and it is heavier at 20.6 ounces. It too, without the extended magazine, is a 6+1. Still to this day, as far as I know, the KelTec PF9 leads with a carry weight, I'm talking with magazine, no rounds, of 14.8 ounces. I don't know why other manufacturers have not met that carry weight. It still is a carry piece by myself to this day. In fact, I just pulled this one out of a Doodles inside the waistband holster. I have another one in a shoulder holster I carry all the time. It's a frequent motorcycle tank bag gun, the PF9, because it's so lightweight. This is just a special guest next to you. So the weight on the Glock 43 is thumbs up. They did a great job on it. Is it the lightest? No, but it's about mid-pack is what you're seeing. And it is, as you saw earlier, pretty thin. Let's compare it against, I don't have a CM9, but here's a PM9 right there. About the same width. I didn't measure each one individually. However, the overall lengths are quite different. You do have a nice long sight radius on the Glock 43. I kind of like that. About just over 5 inches. On this PM9, you can see though, as a concealed carry piece, it's going to be easier to conceal, especially if you're carrying it in a horizontal carry shoulder holster. In other words, how none of you carry your guns. I think we're the only ones to do it. I never run into you guys and you're carrying a shoulder holster. This is Mrs. Nutnfancy's Galco Classic Light. The reason that overall length would be a problem is now you can print because the barrel's longer. Right? Let's compare it against the PPS. Super quick. The PPS has always been known to be a super flat gun, and you can see it is really nice. Maybe just a little bit skinnier than a Glock 43. Overall length, a little bit longer than the Glock 43. But it is broader in height and, I want to say, plan form against PPS. PF9. Again, I wish I had my shield here in the XDS. The XDS is just like this one. I mean, size-wise, it's just like the PPS. I think Springfield just said, hey, let's do a PPS version. So the PF9 is still smaller in pretty much most dimensions. I have the finger rest magazine on here, so height-wise, it's going to be very similar. This is the easiest 9mm pistol I've carried to date. It is. That's why I continue to carry it. Durability-wise, which one would I go with? The KelTec PF9 or the Glock 43? This one, hands down. I'm just speaking reality. This is a miniaturized Glock. Granted, it's a newer version. Will there be some surprises long term? I don't know, but from our shooting, I don't think so. I think Glock is telling you true. It's a miniature version of all our other Glocks. It will withstand the same durability testing, same rounds count. It's a Tennifer coated slide, hammer forged, cold hammer forged barrel. All the things that we've come to know and love about Glocks, they're all in here. So SAWC, design and ergos. I'm not going to spend a lot of time here because we've seen it so many times. 4th gen magazine release, standard slide release. Would I put an extended on a Glock 43? I'd think about it. I don't even know if a regular would fit. I didn't try. I'd just probably run this one. Call it good. I'm not super fond of their stippling. I think it's pretty much non-existent. I think they've shied away with from super aggressive texturing because a lot of people complained about it. The best one on the table would be this one. I have a grip on this. It's a synthetic suede. And it was applied there, heck, 10 years ago, 15 years ago. This, you can see, has a lot of wear. Really good traction. Granted, that's aftermarket. As they come out of box, I would say probably the PF9. I like its blocky chunks. It seems like it locks in the hand good. XDS is not that great either. And I've added some decal grip to this PM9. There you go. So, it's okay. How about the trigger? Ergonomics. It's not great. Let's throw a scale on here. And I heard some complaints about it before I shot it. I will say this. In shooting it, it did not handicap me. I've been shooting a long time though. I've shot all types of different pistols. I kind of have my marksmanship fundamentals down pat at this point. 7.2, and that's about what I pulled off camera there for the trigger scale on the Glock 43. It's not the lightest trigger around. This one's going to pull a lot lighter. This one pulls at 6.5, I think. The KelTec's not a great trigger either. For that matter, neither is the Shield. But in shooting the gun, I did have to concentrate a lot with the Glock 43 trigger to produce accuracy that I can produce easier with the Glock 26. Getting back to what I said. The Glock 26 to me shoots just like a mini Glock 17. But that's me. You know, that's how I shoot. It's how it interfaces with me, my hands, my style of shooting. I can produce the same accuracy out of both of these guns, in case you're wondering. There's the bottom line. And I was surprised because some people were complaining, oh, the Glock 43 isn't accurate. Well, let's show that now. I didn't see that at all. Actually, I found it to be quite accurate. I'm going to start off with the hollow points. So this is just 7 yards. That's all I did. SAWC 115 jacketed hollow points. That's a good group. Look at that, dudes. Freaking nearly one hole. This is standing as well. Golden Saber, 124 grain plus P. I shot about 50 rounds of that. And I shot about 50 rounds of that. No malfunctions whatsoever. Golden Saber. Good. TacticalAmmunition.com. Thank you for supporting the Nutnfancy project. I was shooting their 115 grain jacketed hollow points. Their website's at the top, by the way. One whole group. Man, that's an accurate load that they load. TacticalAmmunition.com, their 115 grain FMJs. I really love shooting that load because it's such a consistent performer. If it flies off, I know there's something up with the gun. So this is me shooting it. Good group. Decent group. There's Mrs. Nutnfancy. She has rheumatoid arthritis, by the way. So when she first started shooting it, she was shooting basically all in the orange, nearly one group. And she got a little bit tired. They opened it up. They opened up a little bit. No big deal. And there's me. Nice group there. TAC A FMJ, 7 rounds. Now this is just at 5 yards right here, so it's not super far. 3-round grouping, it's basically one hole. I gave a down arrow to the trigger to remind you that it is tough to manipulate to get this level of accuracy. If I'm not concentrating, I will get it all in the orange, but it won't be this. And the point I'm driving home is that, is a trigger shootable? Yes. With ultra accuracy, you are going to have some really good marksmanship fundamentals. Otherwise, they're going to stray. 3-round group there. Mrs. Nutnfancy here. 7 rounds me. 7 rounds me. And that's what I'm talking about. Then pay attention. Threw one right there. Finally. Oh, this is Mrs. Nutn. This is her first target right here, by the way. So that's like 5 rounds in one hole. She got a little fatigue. Round started opening up a little bit. Accuracy on the 43, therefore, is excellent. I can't believe I'm saying that. It really is. It seems to be as good as any of the pistols I've shot on the table, except this one. And I think the XDS as well. The PPS, there's something magical about that gun. Doodle must have just filled that paint in because he still has a bunch of it rubbed all on the slide. I didn't do that. That's Tactical Doodle. He should have done a better job. This gun is magically accurate. That's one reason I love it so much. The XDS. And now we go to the sights. You guessed it. These are not stock. Yeah, Mike put on the Trigicons on it, and I really love these sights. It's got a red front, green back. They're about 130 bucks, and boy do I like them. Both in daytime and nighttime, well done. I will make this pretty much a highly recommended accessory for any of your subcompact Glocks, either the 42 or in this case the 43. I really love these sights. The only thing is, these red tritium vials will wear out quicker. I don't think they have the durability of the green. Just be advised. Firepower. It is a 6+1. I'm bummed about it too. I would have much preferred the Glock 43 to be a 7+1. Again, kind of like the KelTec PF9. But it ain't. You're down around. But keeping it real, so is the PPS and a lot of other guns in the category. And I still love those, so I'll say the same thing about the 43. Make your shots count. Get good at reloading. Expect on the accessory market magazine base plates to come out. In fact, I think there's a company already doing them.
Okay, next target.
They're not super cheap. It's like 30 bucks for a +1 base plate on your Glock 43. Look at this dimension though. So increasing the height, it's going to make it more difficult to conceal. With your carry method, that may be an issue. On my Glock 26, obviously I have a +2 base plate on those mags, but in my shoulder system, it doesn't matter at all because it's hanging vertically, right? Firepower, I will say then, is good. It's not excellent because it doesn't really beat any other in-category guns. Speaking of firepower though, and this is Doodle's carry and ankle carry for that matter, here comes a Bodyguard 638. He carries this gun all the time. Ankle carry. He kind of likes the revolvers. But if you're going to go with a 6-round semi-auto shooter, granted it's 6+1, maybe, you should consider these subcompact revolvers as well. This one's hot, and I bet you he has nyclads in this. Bet you. He does. That's a great load in 38 Special. It just expands so well. I think it's 158 grain nyclad. Great round. Love them. Yeah, he carries this all the time. Which one would I carry between these two right here? Glock 43 all day long. It's going to be slimmer and a lot faster to reload. Although with my revolver reloads, I'm pretty fast. I can make it happen. But carrying the extra ammunition is tougher. They're bulky. I don't want to carry speed loaders with me. I call this an expert's gun, by the way. All these subcompact snubbies. Just a consideration. Accuracy we talked about, track record, it's amassing, but I expect good things out of Glock 43. We had no failures to fire, no failures to feed, no light primer strikes, no stovepipes in all our shooting in the Glock 43. So all indications show that it is just as reliable as this gun, the Glock 26. And again, maybe that's where it leaps out ahead of the competition. Most of the other subcompact single stack 9mm pistols will jam on you. Go watch my pocket pistol shootout video series. We show all those, if it happens. Incidentally, this gun didn't jam once. And all the shooting in TMP, except, I do remember this, using an extended Glock 17 magazine in the, not eat lead, but trench warfare drill. It failed with that. And getting back to firepower, that's another disadvantage of going with a Glock 43 versus a 26. This one will take full-size magazines. Hey, but nothing, you just said it jammed on you. That day it did. It did. But you can buy spacers which will prevent that extended Glock 17 magazine from wiggling around. I recommend them. I've said that before. And that would have prevented that. So you could carry a flush mount Glock 26 mag, maybe a Glock 17 mag as your backup. That is a lot of firepower. The only thing is you're carrying a thicker platform. It gets back to what I've always said, firepower versus mobility. Jumping ahead to field strip. It's Glock standard, dudes. So I'm not even going to waste time. You know how it is. It's super simple. I love the Glock field strip. double captive recoil spring, 4 steel rails, striker fire, Tennifer, CHF barrel, complete. Accessories. The gun is new. I think it will again be very successful commercially, and that means you're going to see a lot of accessories for it, just like you do for all the Glocks. There's a lot of people that have Glocks and they've ignored, for whatever reason, these other pistols. And they go, oh, I'm not going to get that one. Oh, a Glock came out, I'm getting that. Maybe they just shoot a Glock really well. They know the battery of arms. They're familiar with the platform, and now they can get a subcompact 9mm. That means a lot of people are going to buy it. That means a lot of accessories. Expect to see trigger modifications to make it better. More sights than just the tridges. There's probably some out there right now. The standard sights are standard Glock. They're okay. They're plastic. They're okay. You know, I'm not totally excited about normal Glock sights, but I've shot with them for years and shot accurately with them. How about magazines? There might be an aftermarket mag come out. Again, remember that overall height. Holsters for your Glock 43. I think already there's some good options out there. Kind of the composite holster option, half leather, half Kydex inside the waistband. Everyday carry holsters might be making one for them. I don't know, I haven't looked yet. Those are probably my favorite style of inside the waistband carry, if I do it, and I don't. I do shoulder carry. This one, by the way, was made by a former Army sniper. His name's Corey. I just met him. I don't know him that well. Custom holster for the 43. Link in the bottom if you want to order this one. Pretty nice. I'm not sure what the pricing is on this. This is just Mike's holster, so it's on loan. Could be a little bit tighter. I don't know if this is a prototype or what, but good option. Shoulder holsters, ankle holsters, all that's forthcoming because it will be, again, commercially successful. End of accessories discussion. It's kind of too new to throw a bunch on the table. Could I envision certain, systems where this thinner Glock would play better? Yeah, I could. Let's go back to this gun, the KelTec PF9. I do wear this gun in a shoulder carry. I don't think I've carried an ankle. Inside the waistband carry very infrequently, but one of the reasons is because it's so thin. And it does not have the firepower of this gun. So my point is, the philosophies of use, for me, these two guns are identical. Super thin, super lightweight. This one's lighter, but this one's close enough. It's a comfortable gun to carry. You're going to hear a lot of Glock 43 users say that. They're like, hey, I carried a 26, now I'm carrying a 43, and it's night and day inside the waistband carry, and I believe them. I think that's a valid thing to say. It really depends on how you carry it. Totally worth the money. There's lots of great options. I only have a couple on the table. Like I said, for instance, I don't have the new Ruger LC9 striker fired. It's a 7+1 design, and it's pretty affordable for what you get. I complained for years about the LC9, told them they needed to fix the trigger. They did. It's the striker fired version. Cool. The Beretta Nano, I do not like. Have no plans on reviewing it. I do not like that gun. Same for the SIG P290.
My bad.
You see, I'm slamming some of my favorite makers. It really depends on the gun. I'll slam Glock too. I don't like the Glock 42. Like I said before, I don't like every song of some of my favorite artists. Same can be said for the gun makers. I don't like all their guns. The ones I do, though, you're going to hear about it. Springfield XDS, currently in for a trigger job. I love that gun. It's cool. It's a great option to the Glock. It beat the Glock to market by a wide margin, and I kind of like that. I don't like the copycats. I like the originals, and Glock is just joining the game late because they want a piece of the pie. We all get that, but all these guns are excellent. Viable options. You ought to shoot each one to see if it works for you. We've talked about the PPS already. The Kahr series. I don't have a CM9 on the table. Pretty much like this one. 6+1, about 0.91 inches wide. M&P 9 Shield. Oh, I love that gun. It too has a very stiff trigger and can be very difficult to shoot very accurately. Again, go watch the shootout video series that Black Army dude and myself did. That was fun, by the way. Taurus 709 Slim. Ugh. No thanks. Enough said. Ending the video. So, do I have any plans to start packing now, subject to change, the Glock 43? No, not really. Not really. Maybe in a tank bag, maybe in some particular carry methods. I'll probably end up getting one later on as a cast member because it's really good, like I'm doing here. Put them on the table, doing comparison and contrast, getting more experience with the type. But it's super reliable. It's very thin. It's easy to carry. I think it's priced reasonably. Yes, it's late to market. No, it's not original. The stock sights are okay. The magazine release button, excellent. I love that mag button, by the way. Stippling, Triggers, tough, but a lot of these triggers aren't great. And we've learned to shoot those. I think it's recommended, you know. So likability scale, I'll have to put some thought into it. Look in the description, that's where it's going to be. So after a time, I'll think about it and put a likability scale in there. I would spend my money on one. It's definitely good enough. You know, hey, we knew you'd say that. You're a Glock fanboy. No, there's a difference between going down all the data and arriving at a conclusion instead of just cracking out a box and just saying, hey, this is the best gun ever. Especially my timeline. Because, like I said, this is very late to the game, this review. Hope you liked it. That is the TMP tabletop review on the Glock 43. Thanks goes out to Mike. Thanks for lending me the gun, and this is Nutnfancy for helping me shoot it.